Meghan's master plans have finally started to receive answers, but thus yet, they contain enough flaws to sink a ship. Before the story is finished, hopefully they will be patched. While the remaining episodes of Days of Our Lives weren't quite as interesting, it appears that we may soon be treated to concurrent Demira/Kyriakis feuds, which should speed up the pace once the Hathaway horrors are finished. There were some people who were counting on John and Steve to save the women on Friday, but that was never going to happen. Having said that, I'm unsure of how long it will stay. Given how far it's been stretched out, probably another few weeks. But now that we know this was once intended to be beyond Salem 3, it will probably only last as long as a season of 5 episodes of the spin-off, unless they added a lot when it was moved to the main show. Who might hang around after is something I'm unsure of. Since Alex is present, Ciara and Ben truly can't. Furthermore, I don't think Hope and Beau will stay either. I think they'll ride off into the distance. My best guess is that Paul and Andrew will move to Salem. Salem would appear to be the ideal location for a fresh start between San Francisco and Washington, D.C. Are there any missing pieces? The key revelations were that Meghan merely kidnapped the women to use them as test subjects. With anyone, she could pull that off. Yet if she truly desired vengeance, she could have just let them to perish. Instead, she prevented their deaths and maybe bestowing superpowers. I wasn't the only one who thought Meghan was alluding to that, was I? Her motivations elude me. And her unexpected allies didn't really surprise anyone, right? Beau was likely brainwashed by Meghan to remain in the Demira family if he wasn't in stasis anymore. Dr. Rolf is the scientific mind behind all the resurrections and serums used by the Demiras. Another Demira family custom, but Rolf's remarks about keeping someone on ice for almost a decade have been bothering me. It doesn't make sense. For nearly 6 years from 2016 to 2022, Beau was not alive. I suppose that's not by much, but it's closer to a decade than 4 years. Does Rolf have someone else here, or is that just his empty cryo chamber? Since I can't think of any other deceased people in the chronology who might fit, I assume the show is simply stretching out time. But it seems strange that they would do so with Beau, while noting expressly that Stefan was placed on ice for the appropriate 4 years. If anyone has theories, please share them with me. Am I overthinking this, or am I missing a deceased Demira who could fit? I don't mind that Beau was brought back in this manner because it adds historical context, and how else could it happen? However, it seems like several of the story's elements don't line up properly. The additional Demiras. I still find Johnny and Wendy surprising. She eases up just when I think she's finished with him. Her being so pleased with his admission of guilt in front of Tripp surprised me. She will undoubtedly end up with Tripp though. Just a speed bump, Johnny. Johnny might wind up sobbing on Channel's shoulder before falling in love with her new baking partner, Talia. Having stated that ever since his film flopped, Johnny has seemed a little lost lately. Isn't it time he got a job instead of just hanging around the house making trouble and yearning for love? There's a lot of Brady in that kid, Stefan added. Yet, as EJ said, he's not just a Demira, he's also Sami's kid. Speaking of those brothers, there were a few amusing digs during their brief peace talks, like as when Stefan brought up Stefano and EJ nonchalantly retorted that if he'd ever met him, he'd know exactly how their father felt. Although the cup-swapping performance was almost comedic, the brothers' declaration of war has changed everything, secretly, of course. Please, let's move on to ruthless corporate scheming from these stupid shenanigans. The conflict between Gabby and Stefan and EJ, Nicole, and Lai has the makings of some excellent Succession-like content. The fact that we have to tell stories on a daily basis means we won't get anything with that degree of plotting, but it doesn't mean this can't go above and beyond mystery drug trading. Therefore, I'll continue to have faith, and even if I don't anticipate Meghan to stick around or focus much on the primary family, once her misdeeds are exposed, Kristen ought to be released from custody and prepared to enter the fray because she didn't kill anyone. Alex and Gwen versus their cousins, indeed I could certainly understand it, particularly after observing the Kyriakis cousins thumping each other on the chest in the square. Are we going to see competing corporate family dramas with the two of them striving for dominance while EJ and Stefan do the same if Xander takes Alex's place at Titan? Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our channel, Daily Bulletin News, and stay with us.